Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick Theriot. Today I have an exciting new video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about starting from scratch with an ad account. How do you actually build up an ad account from scratch? Especially when I talk a lot about my strategy of like already having winning audiences, already having winning creatives and stuff like that, creating furthermore. What happens if you're starting from scratch? And today I'm going to give you a very thorough video of what to do from starting scratch. I've covered this before, but more of just kind of like from verbally speaking it out and stuff like that. But here's an actual like step-by-step playbook you can take to go ahead and start from scratch. So that being said, before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And let's dive into this. So we're going to start off with a very probably not what you're expecting. Step number one from starting scratch is consumer research. This is probably one of the biggest things. Typically when I see a lot of like drop shippers and advertisers and stuff like that, they'll find a product. And again, I'm not going to talk about finding winning products. I'm going to assume you have a winning product, or I'm going to assume that, I don't know. You have a product, you're trying to get it off the ground. I don't work with drop shippers. I work with people that are ready to spend 30, 60, 100K in the next 30 days to get their product profitable, regardless of what it takes. Not, hey, spend a few dollars, product's not profitable, find a new one. Like, they're sold on the product. But long story short, consumer research is huge. You need to be doing consumer research before starting the advertising process. First off, you need to identify your personas, and you can do this through consumer research. The way I like to do my consumer research is like, let's just say, for example, I have, I don't know, this shaker cup that's sitting right by me. I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch a lot of different videos of shaker cups. I'm gonna start to dig deep into who's using these shaker cups. Is it bodybuilders, CrossFitters? Is it people sitting at home working? Like, who the specific demographics that's using this? Personas, essentially. And then I'm gonna use YouTube, Pinterest, Reddit, and just dig into that product specifically and start questioning things and start to piece together people's before state and after state with the product. So this is called the before and after process. What does someone's life look like before your product, and what's someone's life look like after your product? You want to dig into the emotions they experience before and after, the pain points they experience before, and then like the benefits they get after, the features, social status, day to day. Like, literally, I want you to write a like story about your consumer before. Here's what their day to day looks like, you know, and then after, write a story of what their day to day looks like after. So we dig deep. And we like to do this whole process for each persona. So if it's bodybuilders, people who do yoga, and then people who like to run. So like trying to sell the shaker cup, then we're gonna do this whole process for those three people, because obviously it's just a shaker cup. It's very simple, but they might have more further things we can dig for each one. So we have three completely different personas. So this will probably take a week worth of work, 3 to 4 days worth of work. I've really just doing a lot of research and digging deep into your product. Now, after you do consumer research, you want to do competitor research. And it's not like it's this big thing you have to like do completely different. In fact, when you're doing your consumer research, you're going to figure out who your competitors are, and you'll likely take a look at some of their brands as well. But all I want you to do for competitor research is, after you've already identified these competitors, but you, like I said, you'll identify these people in your consumer research. You want to go look at these 5 competitors, and you want to go look at their Facebook ads library. And then what I want you to do is, for each of these 5, I want you to say 5 ads that you think are working well. So now you have about 25 different ads that are, again, you think are working well. They grabbed your attention, yada, yada, yada. And then you can also start to see the correlation of what works for that specific brand in terms of creative. Is it, UGC? Is it unboxing videos? Is it like just a flat graphic? Like, what are the type of creative styles that are working well? And then also to further of what are they hitting on in terms of pain points, how they grabbing people's attention, what they like the call outs, things like that. So that alone right there is going to provide you some amazing insight on your brand. And then now we want to we got all of our personas, we got our competitors and all that. We have a big arsenal now of knowledge of how we can effectively push this product. Now what we want to do is we want to pick out 2 to 4 personas. So let's say if you have 3 personas, then cool, let's pick out those 3. If you have 10 of them, let's just start off with 4, because likelihood you don't have 10 personas, you probably just need to consolidate those down. So like let's just say, for example, we're doing gym wear, or you can even do like our little shaker cup right here. Just change that, shaker cup. Cool. So we have our shaker cup right here, and what we want to do is, here's our 3 personas. We have the bodybuilders, you know, that hard bodybuilding lifestyle, gym and stuff like that. Then I think of runners, but then I think of more of like a male plus female, older demographic of running, like a parent that goes run a lot, that older demo. Then I think of like bodybuilders, but more specifically younger, male plus female, probably like a 21 to, I don't know, like 40-ish demo, where like this one's like maybe like a 40 plus. And then yoga, I'm thinking of like a female 21 to 45, very like zen vibes, calm. So yeah, like just different types of like demographics, and like kind of like your perception on those demographics as well, due to your consumer research. Again, consumer research needs to like drive this persona creation, and do not let your personal values and your personal projections project on this, because that's where a lot of people go wrong. Now, you have these 3 personas. What I want you to do is I want you to go create 4 creatives for each one. So for bodybuilders, we're going to go create 4 creatives that are going to respond to the bodybuilding niche. And we're going to use our 25 different ads we just saved to drive that creation process of those 4 creatives. So we might do a bodybuilder doing an unboxing video, talking about how much he loves this because it makes it easier for him to put his protein in after a workout, or his pre-workout in, sip on it. Also too, we might have another creative where it's talking about more of like the kind of the mission and the pursuit that we're getting behind with this, like the messaging for this particular shaker cup. Another one might be just like a cool picture with a few benefits: synthesized proteins 3 times faster than your standard shaker cup. Then persona number 2, runners, we might just have like an older guy jogging in the park and stuff like that, takes a stop, reaches out of his bag, you know, starts shaking it up and starts sipping on it, maybe puts a little water in it, the little fountain. Like that's a creative right there. Another one might be an older guy, again, doing the same thing. Hey, gotta check the shaker cup out. I do a lot of running, yada, yada, yada. It's synthesized proteins 3 times faster than your standard shaker cup. So like, you're just creating 4 different creatives for each one that is specifically targeted to each persona. So you have 12 creatives at the end of it. For this example specifically, because we're using 3 personas, we're gonna have 12 different creatives. But out of those 12, 4 are going to respond to persona 1 bodybuilders, 4 are going to respond to runners, and 4 are going to respond to yoga. And look, if you can only pick out 1 persona, don't feel pressure to go out there and try to force yourself to find new personas. I would say every single product has 2 personas at least. We've had 1 product specifically for one of our stores. We marketed to 1 persona for about a year, and then halfway through we realized, hey, let's try this other persona, and it was like 5 times more profitable. So it like completely changed the trajectory of the store. So the objective here is to identify those quickly, so that way we can quickly start to figure out who we need to focus on in terms of performance and stuff. And then obviously you need to create 1 piece of copy for each of those 4 creatives. So now you have basically 4 ads that are wildly different from each other for each of these 3 personas. So a lot of creation time, because it's taking another week to 2 weeks right here in the process. So you're already about 2 to 3 weeks in of just planning, research, development of assets you can use inside of the ad accounts. If you do this all in one night, trying to set up your dropshipping store, it's not going to work, because again, there's just no way you could possibly do all that one night. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They create a lot of crappy assets and they try to scale that and they don't get results, and they complain it's not a Facebook algorithm, or they complain it's some guru on YouTube that's misleading people. No, it's your ability to create creative that converts. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the ad strategy. So This is just going to show you kind of an overview of what we're going to do from that day one. So we have all of our assets, our copy, our creative, our personas, all this research, all websites built out, everything's ready to go. Now it's just the build out of that account essentially. So we're going to use an ABO campaign, which is an ad set budget optimization campaign. Basically what this basically means is instead of controlling your budget at the campaign level, you're going to control the budget for each individual ad set in the account. Now, what we're going to do is if we have 3 personas, we're basically going to do 1 campaign for each persona. So campaign 1, persona 1, campaign 2, persona 2. You get it. It's that easy. Then what we're going to do is we want to set a target CPA for each ad set, which I'm going to show you in a second, of 1 to 2 extra target CPA. Now your target CPA is your AOV divided by your target ROAS. So if your AOV is $100 and your target ROAS is a 2x, then you need to spend $50 to $100. 50 is 1 extra target CPA. $100 is 2 extra target CPA per day. So again, it's going to be very expensive quickly. I recommend everyone should shoot for a 3x ROAS. So that's going to probably put you about, if you have a $100 AOV, that's going to put you about a $30 1x target CPA you can start off with. And if you can't afford this, you can also go down to like $5 to $10. This is more for like high performance scaling and for brands that we're trying to scale fast. Now, going into it, the build out of the campaign, you have your campaign, and then you're gonna have 5 ad sets starting off. So you're gonna have ad set 1 is broad. This is literally just age, gender, location. United States, men 21 to 30 years old, call it. Okay, so we're not focusing any targeting. Then ad set number 2 is competitor. So like here is my shaker cup, awesome like shaker cup. So our main competitor is blender bottle. Boom, we're gonna target blender bottle. Generic interest. Generic interest is like men's clothing. If I sell men's clothing, I can go like generic interest, men's clothing, or shopping, fashion. So like very broad, but not broad in terms of like no targeting, just very generalized terms. So I can do shaker cup. Simple as that. Ad set number 4, celebrity / personality. So like I can go identify if I'm in the bodybuilding persona, I can go identify a personality / celebrity in that specific niche. So I can go like Steve Cook. I can go for Steve Cook's a great one. Christian Guzman, Christian Bumstead. So I can go after specific bodybuilders in that niche. Then ad set number 5, this would be the random one. This would be one that's like, hey, you know, we can either use it or don't, but it's up to you. And if you have like another really cool interest idea you want to test. Now, if you depending on your budget, you can also duplicate all of this and have up to 10 ad sets in one campaign. So you could do 2 competitors or 5 competitor ad sets, multiple generic intros. Like you don't necessarily have to do just these 4 as long as you're following the principles of why we're doing this. So we want to specifically figure out what works, and then that way we can, and we're also hitting it with a variety of different things. So we're not targeting from one perspective. We're targeting people from a multitude of different perspectives. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 ads for the bodybuilding persona, or the specific persona right here, and we're going to load them into each of these ad sets. So each one of these ad sets are going to have ads 1 through 4. That's it. And again, each ad's going to have 1 variation of copy as well. So none of them are going to have the same copy, none of them are going to have the same creatives. So it's just 4 completely different creatives or ads to give the system just a very big like amount of data. And then we're going to move over to campaign number 2. Literally exactly the same setup. We're going to use a different persona, and we're going to have different ads. And then obviously you can do different targeting as well in terms of like, hey, you know, if this is yoga we're going after, you might not be going to target Christian Bumstead or Chris Bumstead as like a bodybuilder. You might go after some other like yoga mom page, stuff like that. So you're gonna let all of this run for 72 hours once it goes active. And we're also doing all of this on purchase conversion optimization. So make sure you're doing purchase conversion optimization. And then after that, you want to trim the fat. So you want to go in here and see, okay, what ad sets over that 72 hour period of time that it ran, what ad sets did not get any sales? So maybe it's like random, celebrity, personality, competitor. Okay, just turn them off. Leave the ones that are working on. Don't touch the budget. Just leave them on. Turn off the ones that are unprofitable. It might be all of them in a campaign are unprofitable. Turn it off. It's not a profitable campaign. It's not a profitable persona. And that's the goal. You're hitting a couple different personas to quickly figure out what's profitable. Then you're going to also start to identify what's profitable within that persona in terms of audience targeting. And you also start to identify winning ads as well in that period of time. Now, after that, we want to set up our CBO scaling ad set, our campaign. Again, this is something that I've talked about in previous videos and is exactly what I use in all my accounts. Well, guys, I know this video is really long, but since we're talking about shaker cups, and before we get to CBO scaling, you need to check out Glitch Energy, something I've been using a lot. I'm a big fan of like pre-workout stuff. I was like, if only they had a pre-workout, but like when I sit down for work for a few hours, like something to drive a lot of focus, kind of wake me up and everything like that, you need to check out Glitch Energy. It's basically like the G Fuel, but reimagined for more like productivity and people that sit down and work for a few hours and really need that edge to get a bunch of work done. So highly recommend it. I've been filming all day for YouTube, and I would not be here without it in terms of like I'd be sleeping right now just because somewhat of a long night. So yeah, let's get back to scaling. So getting into the CBO scaling campaign, we're going to set up a whole new campaign, set the ad account, call it CBO scaling best sell, like whatever you want to call it. But this is going to be your main top of funnel campaign forever. That's it. Long story short. So we're going to identify 1 to 2 winning ad sets. And again, we're going to do 1 CBO scaling campaign per persona that won. So if you have 2 personas that won, let's say it's yoga and bodybuilding, you're going to exit this, or you can leave like whatever is working on, or you can turn everything else off. But we're basically going to set up 2 CBO scaling campaigns, 1 for each specific persona. Now, let's say for the budget, obviously I say 10x our target CPA, but let's say if you had some success with those other ones, but they were some pretty weak results. I don't recommend going straight to 10x target CPA. Do like maybe a 3 to 5x target CPA for the budget. So you can do 1 CBO scaling campaign per persona, and then you're going to take those winning ad sets from each persona, and you're going to put them inside each CBO scaling campaign. Again, so like if this is a bodybuilding one, we'll do like, let's say for example, if Chris Bumstead and Broad one, then we'll do ad set 1, Chris Bumstead, ad set number 2, Broad, and then we'll toss in the winning ads from that persona and call it a day. Now, if we want to test further audiences in the future, then what we're going to do is we're going to dupe that main ad set. So let's say it's ad set number 1 winner. We'll duplicate that ad set, just hit the little dupe button with all the ads inside of it. And we're going to set a minimum spin on that ad set because it's a CBO. We're going to set a minimum spin, and we're going to do 1 to 2x our target CPA. Again, it's just relative to how much we're spending overall to do a 2x or a 1x. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the lifetime spin on that particular ad set after it's spin for a few days. Once it's greater than 1x our AOV, we're going to turn it off if it's unprofitable, or leave it on if it is. Now, because like this is where you have to compartmentalize in your brain that, hey, I duplicated our main ad set to test a new audience with proven ads. And I'm basically at this stage right here, I basically have this ad set just to test a new audience. And I'm either going to leave it on or turn it off, but I'm never going to look at the ad level ads because you can quickly start to overguess yourself and second guess yourself with that. So back to it. Yeah, so that's our CBO scaling campaign. We're going to start pushing some spin in there. It usually takes about 5 to 7 days before our CBO scaling campaign really starts to take off. So it does take a few days. That's okay. Again, also too, you don't need 50 freaking ad sets to scale an account. You need 1 to 2 good audiences. And in fact, to go even further with this, I have accounts that spend $1,000 to $3,000 a day, and we have 1 ad set in our top of funnel campaign because it works the best, and it allows our ad sets to get out of learning limited. And to get off learning limited, you need 50 conversions in a 7-day period. 50 conversions in a 7-day period, and you have a $30 CPA, so cost per acquisition. So every $30 you get 1 sale, and you need 50 in a week. That's 30 times 50. That's $1,500. You need to make sure you can spend at least $1,500 per ad set. So if you can only spend $1,500 on one and like $500 on the other, then it's no point of even running the other. Just let it all go to that one, and it's going to get you substantially better results. Okay, now ad testing. How do you test new creatives, new copy, things like that? So what we do is we set up a second CBO creative testing campaign. We set the budget 1 to 2x our target CPA. It's either 1 to 2x our target CPA or 10% of our top of funnel campaign. Again, it just kind of depends on how much we're spending overall, and that's what's a lot of these cases. Someone spending $100 a day is going to look different than $1,000 a day. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our best performing ad set. Let's say it's Chris Bumstead. It's our best performing audience, not ad set, best performing audience, Chris Bumstead. We're going to basically create a new ad set, Chris Bumstead. So now we have a winning audience, and then we're going to toss in some new ads in here. Now these new ads need to be based around either have like a winning copy and a winning headline, and we're just testing creative, and like each ad's a different creative, or we have winning creative and that we're using, and we're testing a few different variations of copy, and each one of these are a different variation of copy. So you have to be able to isolate the variables when you're doing testing to get a proper test done. If not, then you're gonna blow everything up. So, and again, when lifetime spends on these ad sets or these ads, you're never turning the ad set off. You're turning the ads off, and as long as you have ads in there, it'll spin. When you turn all your ads off because they're not profitable, it just won't spin anymore. And you just keep tossing in new ads. And you might have 100 ads in here at one point with only one of them on, and all the other ones are just existing ones you've tested. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna check that lifetime spend on these ads, and every time one crosses over 1 extra AOV, you're going to turn it off, and you're either going to move it to your scaling campaign or just leave it off. And you're going to move it to your scaling campaign if it's profitable. If it's profitable, move it to your scaling campaign, let it roll. If it's not profitable, just leave it off and ask yourself, why is it not profitable? Like what went wrong? So that's ad testing. You can do that a lot, focus a lot of time and attention on that. Now, lastly, budget increase and decrease. This is like the last thing. So MER, I have a lot of videos on marketing efficiency ratio already on my channel. It's just basically taking your total Shopify sales and comparing it to your total Facebook ad spend, and it gets your overall ROAS versus in-app ROAS. And these are just a few rules we follow. If MER in the last 72 hours is above our target ROAS, we're shooting for a 3x and we're getting a 3.5, 4x, we're going to increase spend by 20%. It's basically giving us a signal that we can scale. If MER in the last 72 hours is below target ROAS, decrease spend by 20%. So, hey, things aren't looking hot. Let's pull back spend. If MER in the last 72 hours is at target ROAS, we want a 3x and we're getting a 3x. Let's just do nothing. Simple as that. So that's what we do for budget, decrease, and increase. Now, this whole formula is how we do and how we tackle every single ad account we work on. Again, if you already have some winning audiences, winning creatives, you don't need to go through half this process. You can just go straight to a scaling campaign and just keep focusing on getting new creative. Like, creative is what's going to drive the performance on this account, creative, copy, and your offer. And again, your offer is not just 10% off, it's the whole experience you're offering to the consumer, the product, the value, everything like that. It's not just 10% off, 20% off, things like that. So all of that's going to play 80% on the performance of the account, and the actual structure and things like that is going to have like a 20% effect on the account itself. So you're going to spend a lot less time in the ad account managing this style of management and kind of structure. And then you're also going to have a lot more time now for creative research and planning out creative storyboarding creatives and things like that, and just becoming a better and overall more effective marketer. Well, guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you are an e-com brand owner and you're doing at least $25,000 per month in revenue, make sure you click the link below to book a call with me and my team. We'll hop on a call with you. We'll build out your strategy for you, and you have the option to either take it and run with it, or you have the option to work with us if you choose. And if you're doing less than $25,000 a month, stay tuned, because this YouTube channel is all about delivering as much content and value to you as possible to where you can actually scale past that mark and one day be able to work with us. We've helped multiple brands scale to 6 and 7 figures, so I promise you it won't be a waste of your time if you hop on a call with me and my team. Well, guys, thank you all guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My name is Nick Theriot, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.